Question number one. Many biotic and abiotic factors can affect the growth of plants. 1.1 is an AO1 question, which is a knowledge based question. And this question is from the topic of biotic and abiotic factors. Are the factors in the table number 1 biotic or abiotic? We have table number 1. We have to find which of the factors are biotic factors and which of the factors are abiotic factors. Student must know the definition of the biotic and abiotic factors. The living factors in an ecosystem or in environment, they are called biotic factors, whereas the non-living factors such as the water, temperature, climate, these are non-living factors, so they are abiotic factors. From table number 1, we can see that diseases are caused by germs or pathogens or viruses, so they are biotic factors. Herbivores, they are animals and they rely on the plants, so they are also biotic factors. Temperature and water, they are non-living factors, so they are abiotic factors. Two students investigated the effect of light intensity on the distribution of small plants. The plants are growing under a tree in a park. The students made the following hypothesis. As you move outside from a tree, there will be more plants growth. 1.2 explain why the student thought their hypothesis would be correct. This is an AO2 and AO1 combination question, and this question is from the topic of level of organisms, photosynthesis, and use of glucose. If you assume that this is a tree and this is the shade created by the tree, mean the area under the tree, the plants growing here, they are unable to take enough light because the plant is being covered by the shade of the tree. They are unable to get enough light, therefore they are unable to do more photosynthesis. As a result, they are unable to make enough glucose to increase their body mass. Therefore, the young plants are unable to produce their body mass and their growth will get slow. Let's see the model answer. The tree blocks the light to reach the ground. Therefore, the young plants are unable to get enough light for the photosynthesis. And the photosynthesis is required to make glucose or to increase their body mass. The marks distribution is also mentioned in this question. 1.3 is an AO1 question, and this question is from the same topic of the level of organisms. The student used two pieces of equipment. Give the scientific name of each of the piece of the equipment. A square frame measuring 0.5 meter multiplied by 0.5 meter. And second one is an electronic device to measure the light intensity. Student must know the names of these equipments. The first one is the quadrant. And the name of the second piece is light meter. The method used by the students is described here. Fix one end of a tape measured at the base of the tree. Fix the other end of the tape measured 11 meters from the tree. At 0 meters, put the square frame on the ground. Identify all the plant species growing inside the frame. Estimate and record the percentage cover of each plant species. Measure the light intensity inside the frame. Put the square frame on the ground every 2 meters along the tape to 10 meters. Repeat step number 4 to 6 in every frame. Figure number 1 shows the equipment in the investigation. Calculate the total area sampled. If you look here in the diagram is very clear. This is the tree, this is the area under the tree, and the student fixed the tape at one end of the tree and took 11 meters away from the tree and put the tape about 11 meters away from the tree. The student is putting the square at every 2 meters. He put the first square just near or just at the stem or the trunk of the tree, and after every 2 meters the student is putting the square frame, and the question is calculate the total area sampled. The student must know the area of one frame. It is already mentioned that it is 0.5 into 0.5, but we have to see that how many squares have been used. The student used at the trunk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because it is already mentioned in point number 7 that the student is using the square frame on every 2 meters. Students usually forget that at 0 meters, put the square frame on the ground. Students usually miss this point and usually count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Student needs to use 6 frames in this question. So the total area is 6 into the area of one frame. Let's see the model answer. The area of the frame is 0.5 into 0.5, that is 0.25 meter square. Total area in 6 frame is 6 into 0.25, that is actually 1.5 meter square. So the total area sampled is 1.5 meter square. 1.5 is an AO3 question, and this question is from the level of organisms. The whole investigation was done as quickly as possible on the same day. Suggest one reason why. If we look here, the investigation is done on the same day. The reason behind it is that the students need an investigation in which the light intensity is same throughout the day. The other important thing the student needs to remember that the weather conditions can affect the results in the investigation. Therefore, the investigation was done as quickly as possible on the same day. Let's see the model answer. The investigation is done to keep the light intensity same throughout the investigation. The important information is given here. The weather conditions can affect the results in the investigation. 1.6 is an AO3 question and it is from the same topic of level of organisms. Give one way the investigation could be improved. The student can improve the investigation by repeating the investigation under the tree at different places. Student can use the same investigation around the other trees and compare the results with the first tree. They can take a sample of every meter instead of taking the sample reading for 2 meters. So there are different methods which the student can apply to improve the investigation. Let's see the model answer. Repeat the investigation around the tree at different places. The other options which the student can write: repeat the investigation around other trees to compare the results. Take sample for every 1 meter instead of taking for 2 meters to improve the investigation. Table number 2 is giving us different information. The distance from tree in meters: 0 meter, 2 meter, 4 meter, up to 10 meters. The percentage cover of the plants is mentioned here. The total percentage cover of the plants is mentioned, and the light intensity in arbitrary units is mentioned here. 1.7 is an AO3 question. The student need to use this table. Which plant species in table number 2 will only grow at high intensity light? 1.7 is an AO3 question, and this question is from level of organisms. which plant species in table number 2 will only grow at high light intensity. If you look into the table, the different values are given here. The percentage cover of the plant. If you're going away from the plant, we can see that the light intensity is increasing and the plant is covered more by the light. One of the specific plant which is shown in the data, when it is far away from the plant, then it start growing. That is daisy. The daisy is a plant. If we see from here, the growth is zero when it is under the shade of the tree. When it is 6 meters away, we can see that it start growing. As the distance is increasing from the tree, the growth of the daisy is increasing, which shows that as the plant is covered more by the light, there is more light intensity and the growth of the plant is growing on due to the photosynthesis. Let's see the model answer. Daisy is a plant whose growth is increasing as a result of increasing of light intensity. And the table number 2 shows us clearly as the daisy plant is away from the tree, it starts growing when the plant is 6 meters onward distance when the light intensity is good on the plant, which is very obvious for the plant as the daisy plant is 6 meters away, the growth of the plant is taking place. 1.8 is an AO3 question. What conclusion can be made about the relationship between the light intensity and the total percentage cover of the plant? Use data from table number 2 in your answer, and this question is from the level of organisms. So we need to make the conclusion what will happen if the plant is moving away from the tree. The student can make the conclusion from here as the light covering the plant is increasing, mean there is more light intensity. As the result of that, the plants are doing more photosynthesis. The reason is plant is more covered by the light. Let's see the model answer. As the light covering the plant is increasing, means the light intensity on the plant is increasing. And from the table number 2, we can see that for 175 arbitrary units, the plant is 100% covered by the light and the rate of photosynthesis will be higher. 1.9 is an AO2 question. The light intensity might not be the cause of the pattern of the plant distribution. Suggest one different factor that may cause these results. Give one reason for your answer. And this question is again from the level of organisms. The question is, it is not necessary that the light intensity is responsible for the distribution of the plant under the tree. The student has to consider the different factors other than light. We can consider that the water or the minerals can also be responsible for the growth of the plant, or the temperature can also be responsible at a very low temperature, or when the plant is under the tree, there is low temperature under the tree, the chances are the plant is unable to grow properly. Let's see the model answer. The other factors which the student can include either water or minerals, and the reason is the root of the trees are absorbing more water or minerals from the soil, mean the other young plants are unable to get enough water and minerals for their survival. The third option which the student can write is temperature. Less thermal energy is reaching on the ground and plants are slow in doing photosynthesis.